Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to move in this correction. The price behavior is entirely corrective at this stage. So we still have overall, looking at the bigger picture here, zooming out a little bit, the ongoing wave 4 that we're dealing with. Yeah, so it's a wave 4 correction we're likely dealing with here. Bitcoin is ranging. Bitcoin is basically range bound. So don't be surprised if we get a little bit more up and down movement. Cryptocurrency corrections and Elliott Wave helps us very well to understand if a chart is moving into a correction and what type of correction it is. But cryptocurrency corrections are characterized by a lot of rapid up and down movement within a fairly well-defined range. We often get overshooting B waves, especially in a wave 4, and Bitcoin is in a wave 4. So always be prepared for high B waves in these corrections. That's just something to be aware of, generally in the crypto space and generally in a fourth wave. And also these corrections are characterized by frequent changes in microstructures and oftentimes very complex corrections. That's exactly what we see here currently in the Bitcoin on the Bitcoin price chart. I still try to reduce it down always to only two scenarios when we look at the subwave structure, okay? So we're still dealing here with a situation in which Bitcoin certainly hasn't given us any strong confirmation that the correction is over. So that's still likely unfolding. There is a potential breakout wave count, yep, but from a structural point of view, you can really only confirm that once we have these 5 waves complete. Then we can say that the wave 4 likely finished and that we're already in the wave 5. That should then send us into the 50K region. So 5 waves up, that could take us to round about, just to give you a rough idea, I would need to see 5 waves to round about 47,440, maybe even higher. But not even the third wave here has reached its minimum expectation, which would be around 45.2K. That's what it would need to reach in a third wave, in a diagonal at least. Then we get a fourth and a fifth. Yeah, so that's sort of what I'm watching in parallel as a possible breakout count for anybody who wants to know, okay, what do we need to see to confirm that the low has already formed? For that, it's obviously too early. So we haven't even got 3 waves complete. So we need the 5. That's the pathway how Bitcoin could break out to the upside with levels. Until then, I prefer to see a move down into support, probably over the next coming days or so. But it can stretch out quite a bit. Okay, remember what I said already like a couple of weeks ago, that this could even stretch into the new year. And it seems to be going that way because you get all this up and down. Bitcoin hasn't made any progress in this correction. So we literally just moved sideways, even though the B wave could be complete. And that's the other scenario, which I prefer, is A wave down, yeah. This as a B wave currently, which could still stretch a little higher, and then the C wave down into support. The support region is unchanged between $39,260 and $34,070, okay? So again, I can only repeat it again. Don't treat Elliott waves within corrections as too predictive. You know, I always see it when people maybe tune in, tune out of these videos, but don't really understand the analysis. Need to understand it first. There was one comment earlier today. I just want to mention it for educational purposes. Something like, okay, if I was trading the waves, you know, I wouldn't have entered a position or whatever, and you know, I would be losing out on all of this movement to the upside. Well, see, nobody should be trading the waves. You need to trade the levels, okay? Trade the levels, you know, the support areas are given. So as long as the $34,070 level is holding, it is expected that the price continues in a 5th wave to the upside. Elliott Wave is no trading system, so you have to use your own trading system. A reasonable strategy is to scale into the support level, and to accumulate. You don't need to start. Don't need to wait to buy here. You know, you can start to scale in here. Grid trading is a great strategy in corrections, but don't make it too aggressive because otherwise you may get wrecked basically in corrections. That's very common. So basically, you draw your line in the middle and okay, this is support. I need to measure my position size against that level, $34,070, if I want to trade this setup. And I can start to buy a little bit here, buy a little bit more here, buy a little bit more here. And when the price moves up, you can sell a little bit here, sell a little bit more here, sell a little bit more here. And then going down, you buy again, you buy again. That's sort of a reasonable strategy. Elliott Wave doesn't tell you, okay, you have to sell into the C wave. Absolutely not. It also doesn't tell you, okay, you sell into the X wave. And it also doesn't tell you buy into the Y wave. That's not how it works. You've got the levels, and against these you can position yourself. Now, how you do that, that's depending on your risk profile and your trading strategy that you have to use together, with the market information then to understand, okay, what is the wave we're in? What's the behavior like? Do I have to expect choppy price action? Which is all that Elliott Wave tells us that. Elliott Wave also tells us when most likely the correction is finished. And yeah, what the relevant Fibonacci support levels are, okay? So that's key, and for most people, it will be better to stay on a higher time frame, not even be bothered with all that noise in between, because it doesn't lead anywhere until the correction is finished. So obviously we do it also for educational purposes, but please, please, please don't treat Elliott waves within corrections as predictive. That's not the point. They help us to understand. We're just tracking. None of this is a setup itself. Okay, I see this as a setup, as a buy setup. Okay, you could have used this as well, which would have been successful. But you want to treat this as a buy setup potentially, and then scale in. Okay, basically with a triangle like position size like that. But how you do that, I can't answer that for you because everybody's got their own cash flow. Risk appetite, some people are momentum traders, but even momentum traders wouldn't really trade within a correction. You want to wait for the next rally to start, isn't it? So yeah, this is basically a range trading strategy you need to adopt here. And you could use a grid bot for that, or you just do it manually, which is a lot of work. Yeah, but not much more to add. So I think the levels are clear, patterns are clear. There are only two scenarios I'm observing here, but they can change frequently within a correction. Okay. So yeah, hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.